In this Leanpreneur episode, I talk about a simple concept, and Taiichi Ohno discusses it. Don't confuse value with price. Obviously, he has discussed it in his books, many books that he's written. Obviously, one of them is the Toyota production system, Beyond Scale. And then, of course, one of his co-inventors of the Toyota production system also talks about it, Shigeo Shingo. I'm a big fan of both of them. And then Yahoo Golrad talks about it as well in It's Not Luck book. He also deals with the operational management issues and improvements. And so if you looked at these three authors, they all deal with how to make something more efficient and productive, and let me not get into it. But what I really want you to get out of it is this. When you're a producer of something, and actually I've been in this scenario myself, how you see something priced out or the value of whatever you're building is completely different to what the market may see. And I've been in situations where I've actually confused the value of the proposition with the price. And what's happened before is that sometimes the value was much lower than the actual price associated with it. And at other times it was basically a case where I didn't think there was a lot of value to something, when in reality the market was telling me there was a substantial amount of value. So I think that's one of the things that Taiichi Ohno discusses, is not to confuse value with price, and especially when it comes to what you make the product for. So if you're a digital startup, and this is actually very applicable to digital startups, high-tech startups, is that when you build a product that's digital, okay, and let's say that the price over time, so let's say or the cost of what you built was initially really high. So let's say that that initially took you a substantial amount of money to build it over some period of time, but then for you to enter the market and sell as much as you can, there was a minimal cost involved. So how I see it from a digital perspective is that once you build some digital product, don't confuse the value of what you've built with the price. So usually what happens is a lot of companies, as an example, they use the freemium model to penetrate the marketplace. And then what they do is they use that to aggregate the eyeballs and of course use the advertising business model to build value. But in reality, there's a scenario, and I think a perfect example in my opinion is Dropbox, probably also LinkedIn, is that even though they use a freemium model, they still had a strategy of extracting as much dollars out of the marketplace as possible, because the way they segmented their value proposition was in such a way where you do get hooked on their service, but then the more you use it, then you have to pay more for using more of it. So that was a beautiful way of not confusing value with price.